Assalamu alaikum. Today, the topic or the practical we are going to discuss and perform is how to determine blood group and the presence or absence of Rh factor. Before going into the details of the practical, I would like to give you a brief idea of why it is important to perform blood grouping and to determine the presence or absence of Rh factor. In 1901, Lance Steiner was the physician who actually separated the blood into four different kinds on the basis of antigens present on RBC membrane. He states that if an agglutinogen, which is antigen, is present on red cell membrane, the corresponding agglutinin antibody must be absent in the plasma. If agglutinogen is absent, the corresponding agglutinin must be present in the plasma. Well, the second half of the law is not applicable in all cases, for example, in Rh blood grouping. Among different blood groups, ABO and Rh blood groups are the most important because they cause major transfusion reactions. There are a lot many components of blood group determination, but worldwide recognized are ABO and Rh factor. Basically, these are not two types, but rather two components of the same blood grouping, same type of blood grouping. इसका प्रिंसिपल ये है कि द सेल मेम्ब्रेन कैरीज genetically determined antigens called agglutinogens while the plasma contains the corresponding antibodies. To determine the blood group of a person, his red cells are allowed to react with commercially available antiseras containing agglutinins, antibodies. The presence or absence of agglutination of red blood cells in different antisera determine the blood groups. The apparatus needed for it is glass slides, test tube, dropper, sterile lancet, spirit swab, marker, cover slips, common pen, and microscope. The microscope portion comes at the end. It's the most important one. However, we need it at the end. Now, I would like to briefly describe to you the principle. It states that every RBC in your blood carries on its cell membrane a specific kind of antigen, agglutinogens, and corresponding antibodies into the blood. Now, it's not important that a person always carry antibodies or always carry any kind of antigens on the blood. Um, we will discuss it later in the practical. I will describe it to you, and you will get a better understanding how it works. It's not necessary that every person have all kinds of agglutinin or every person have antibodies. There are two kind of blood groups in which one of the component is absent. The most important part of this practical is the presence of reagent, normal saline 0.9% to dilute the blood. Then we have three commercially available antiseras, antisera A, which is a bottle labeled blue, antisera B, labeled yellow, antisera D, which is transparent and does not contain any color. Antisera D is to determine Rh factor. We will discuss it later. But first, we will discuss how to determine ABO blood group type. There are two methods to determine, one indirect and the other one is direct. Indirect method is the one which is more convenient and it is used in routine practice, while the direct method is not used nowadays. It's an obsolete method. Briefly described, indirect method, what we do is we take the recipient's blood, we dilute it in normal saline. The blood, uh, due to the separation of RBCs and serum, we see a clot in the test tube while the clear transparent serum is separated. That serum is then allowed to react with the donor's RBC. If there is any incompatibility in blood, we will see clumping or agglutination reaction, which describes that the person's blood group is not compatible with the donor's one. Indirect method, it's the more convenient one and more frequently used, contains a glass slide and the three antiserums. What we have to put 2 drops of antisera A and anti-sera B on one glass slide, and they should be very, very clearly separated. We should not allow any sort of mixing, otherwise, false result will come. Then, third is the RH factor anti-sera D, which is also separately put on the third spot. We will mark all of them. All the drops will be marked with respect to their seras, anti-sera A, anti-sera B, and anti-sera D. Afterwards, we will prepare the test tube in which we will take 0.9% of normal saline and recipients. Wait a minute. Okay, we will take a saline solution 0.9%, invert the tube once so that a small amount of blood is transferred into the saline and the suspension of red cell in normal saline is prepared. We have to take the recipient's blood, we have to put it into the saline tube, the test tube containing the normal saline, and we will allow that to mix. After that, put a drop of this suspension of red cells on anti-sera A, anti-sera B, and in the center of for the control. Sorry. The third one will be, in normal practice, the third one is dropped on the anti-sera D to determine whether the person has an RH factor present in the blood or not. Okay, we will allow it to mix for 8 to 10 minutes, and afterwards we will see if there is agglutination present. If agglutination is present on anti-sera A, we will term it the blood group as A. If there is agglutination on anti-sera B, then ultimately we will term as blood group B. However, if there is no agglutination at all present on any anti-sera A or B, ultimately we will term the blood group as O negative, O blood group. And if agglutination occurs on both the anti-seras A and B, we will see that we will term it AB. The third one, anti-sera D, determines the presence of RH factor in the blood. Why RH factor is important? It is actually basically a kind of protein antibody present in your blood, which saves you from a lot many complications during the blood transfusion blood transfusion process. When RH antigen reacts with RH antibody produced against this antigen, clumping of cell will take place. The agglutination is confirmed under microscope. One point, whatever you do manually with your hands, you have to confirm it under the microscope later on. You have to see the agglutination with naked eye, and afterwards you have to again confirm it under the microscope. This is a very important step. Next is the determination of RH factor. For that, anti-sera D is used. Procedure is pretty simple. You had already taken a glass slide, and you have put a drop of anti-sera D on one side and red cell suspension on the other side for control. Then you add the recipient's RBC suspension on D side, mix it with the common pin, and if the agglutination occurs, ultimately the person is RH positive. You do perform the same procedure with the donor's RBC also to determine his ABO component and RH factor. You will perform, I repeat, the same procedure for donor's RBC also. What you have to do, you put a drop of anti-sera D on the glass slide. Ultimately, again, you will put the donor's RBC suspension on it. If agglutination occurs, the person has RH factor in his blood. If there is no agglutination, there is no clumping, ultimately the person is RH negative. Same goes for the recipient. Confirm the result under microscope after 8 to 10 minutes. Yes, very important. You have to confirm it under the microscope afterwards. Now, there are simple precautions. Glass slide should be clear. You have to be very concise about the practical. No intermixing of anti-seras or blood drops should be allowed. You have to use separate droppers and separate toothpicks for mixing and dropping of antiseras. Confirm the agglutination under microscope. Now, what is the clinical significance of blood grouping? It is used for transfusion, blood transfusion के लिए. In case of RH incompatibility, yes, a very, very important complication, frequently asked in Viva and in SCQ or MCQ, that what is the most important significance? It's the RH incompatibility between a mother and its fetus. If an RH positive or negative mother is married to RH positive or negative male, solving paternity disputes, identification of a person. Okay, this is an obsolete method for doing these procedures. Now, DNA paternity tests or DNA tests are available for that. Susceptibility to various diseases, for example, blood group O, they are more prone to peptic ulcer. Blood group A, more prone to diabetes mellitus, carcinoma stomach. Choice of a donor in tissue organ transplantation. Yes, very important again. You have to determine the blood group of both recipient and donor during transplant operations. Medical legal cases. No, this is not used for medical legal cases nowadays. DNA tests are available. During blood transfusion, if a person hasn't been checked for diseases, the donor is not being checked for diseases, he can transmit syphilis, malaria, AIDS, or hepatitis to its recipient. So be very careful about it. And next is, at the time of transfusion, the antigen present on donor RBC and antibody present in recipient are considered because donor's antibodies are diluted in recipient's plasma. Yes. Indications for blood transfusion: acute hemorrhage, even for chronic ones, chronic diseases like CKD, CLD, leukemias, carcinomas, thalassemia, yes, bloodborne diseases, hemophilia, von Willebrand disease. We need transfusion for such diseases. Okay, what are the hazards of blood transfusion? The most immediate ones are allergic reactions. What happens that sometimes if there is a mistake in blood grouping, the recipient is prone to have allergic reactions, anaphylactic shock, febrile reaction, which is high grade fever, hemolytic reactions, which consist of rash, shortness of breath, or even death. Delayed circulatory overload with iron overload. Repeated transfusions can lead to iron overload because it is a very important component of your hemoglobin. So, a person can have overload, which can lead to liver failure. Bacterial contamination, again, if the blood or the donor is not checked for diseases or infections, the recipient is very prone to have these. Tetani, decreased Ca, yes, calcium is lost, it is chelated, that's why one can have tetani. Air embolism. Why air embolism happens? If the equipment is not cleaned enough and it's not been freed of air bubbles, ultimately air embolism can occur in recipient. So it's very important that when you connect the blood transfusion set, discard the first few drops of blood and then attach it to the drip of the recipient. Acute kidney shutdown. Yes, many people suffer from that. If you have an ongoing kidney issue, blood transfusion can lead to acute kidney shutdown. There are a few slides which I want to discuss. They will help you determining the blood group. The first one is RH antigen, RH positive and negative people. The genotype is RH positive. The genotype is DD, phenotype RH positive. These are actually the abbreviation used to denote the RH positive or RH negative people. Genotype is the genetic determination of whether the person is dominant for RH positive, recessive for RH negative, or a carrier for RH positive. This is actually the genetic which is described here. Next, you can see these are the types of antibodies and antigens shown in the picture and the types of reaction which can occur. Agglutination is the clumping, and clumping determines what blood group a person is having. This is a chart which describes the genotypes, the phenotypes, and the types of antibodies and antigens present in a specific person. Please take the screenshots of all these slides. These will be included in your lecture also. Landsteiner law, we have already discussed it. Thank you very much. That will be all. Now we will perform the practical.